I went from this skinny kid charging $35 a cut to hitting 25K months, won 4 Muay Thai fights with 0 losses, and retired my single mom at the age of 21. And it wasn't because I was more talented. It was honestly because I had a 3-part routine system that helped me lock in my mind and body to perform at its peak. And I'm going to show you those exact tools and tips I used to literally force me to grow even when I was unmotivated and exhausted. So we have the morning routine, the night routine, and then what I do for distraction routine. There's a lot of distraction in this world. So first one is that what I do is I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, right? And I make sure that my alarm is placed far away from my bed. The reason why is because every time I wake up, and if my alarm is right next to me, it's so easy for me to just touch it and then go back to sleep. But if you create your environment to it's so far away, you stand up, and since you're already up, you might as well get up. And going back to bed, it's like you folding towards your dreams. So it's I don't want to be a little B word, so I just get up straight after since I'm already up, right? So in the morning, I actually don't have my phone as my alarm. My phone is in another room in this little lockbox. It's like a kitchen lockbox. And that right there, it makes you not primed to go on it. I used to wake up, go on my phone straight away, but it just literally kills the rest of your day. Think about it. You're in a reactive state. So there's a reactive state and a proactive state. So reactive is you're reacting to information. So that means that every time you scroll on your phone, each scroll and each post is literally information, and your brain is reacting towards it. So it can be something funny. You're like, haha, sad, oh, next, viral barber, next. So your brain is literally going from one mood to the next mood, and you're consistently reacting. When you're in that state, you're just going to be reacting to everything your whole rest of your day. But if you don't have that phone there, you're in a proactive state, meaning that you do everything in preventative way, right? You do it in a way where you're attacking, you're making the control, you're making the judgment instead of you being the one reacting. So that's why I wake up at 5 a.m. and have my phone far away and my alarm farther away on the other side of the room, right? The next one I do is I do a glass of water, and I have hydrolytes in it. The reason why is because you've been asleep 6 to 8 hours. You're going to be dehydrated, and our human body is 70% water. So my little hack is that when I wake up, drink water straight away. It literally puts water into you to hydrate you, and hydration cancels out fatigueness, because if you're dehydrated, that's what creates headaches, that's what creates brain fog, fatigue, and you need to be a person that is optimally in peak performance all the time. In the morning, sadly, it's very hard to have peak performance. So that's why this morning routine gets you amped up faster. That's the whole point of a morning routine, just to make sure that you perform at peak performance. The next thing that glass water does for you is that it wakes up your body. Because how your body reacts towards anything that put in your stomach is that all the blood goes into your stomach in order to digest food. So if helps you digest food, drinking that water wakes up your system in order to tell you, yo, I'm awake. Try it out. It's gonna make you wake up a whole lot faster. Then next thing I do is I do a cold shower, right? And all this is with under 10 minutes, right? This wakes me up. Takes 5 minutes for me to wake up, slap the tiredness out. I drink that water and I hop in the shower within 10 minutes. And that cold shower, it's literally like a natural caffeine energy boost, right? It literally slaps you across the face and you start your day off with pain. And pain is the way forward. Life is hard. And there's never going to be a world where it's sunshines and rainbow, where your life is all about happiness and joy, even though it's ideal to think that. However, if life is hard, you better be freaking good at dealing with pain, because nothing exceptional takes little time. And for you to try to get something fast is short-lived. Like you're trying to shortcut things. But in reality, there's no really shortcuts. So at the end of the day, pain is the requirement for success. Therefore, your morning routine should face pain straight away and have a front-loaded mentality. Let's say you clip your fingernails. When you clip your right one first, it's very easy to do. But then when you clip your left one, it's very hard because you're not, But if you do your hard, non-dominant hand first when you're clipping your toenails, it's easier to do the last one. It's kind of like that if it makes sense for you, right? So when you do something hard first, everything else seems easier. Everything seems downhill. So my point is that cold showers make your day start with the hardest thing in order for you to have a smooth day forward, right? And you wake up and it's like you got like 5 boosters, someone slapping you in the face and you're shivering. And believe me, every time I hop into a cold shower, I've done it for 3 years now, every single day, cold shower. Even though like in Melbourne right here where I live, it's like 2 degrees in the morning. Next one now is going to be hard training. And it's the same mentality of front loaded. You want to do all your hard tasks first, so then everything else is cruisy. If you're waiting your whole day until like night in order to do it, you're gonna feel like, oh man, like you're not gonna have that much energy to go and you might skip it. You may be a guy that trains at night, but if you train at night, you're not gonna be able to do this, right? And waking up, before that, waking up AM early is so great because when you're up at that time and you're training hard and no one's awake and you know that your competition isn't up and you know that you're the only person working harder at that time because it's just crickets at that time, it just does something to your mentality where you're just thinking 1 foot forward, 1 foot forward. And hard training, whether that's when I was doing Muay Thai, I trained twice a day and I would do my lifts in the morning, hard lifting with like a death bike. If you ever done a death bike, it literally, there's a reason why it's called a death bike. You literally die. And while I'm hard training, I'm having a Audible book, right? Audible book / podcast. And what that does to you is that you are feeding your mind knowledge at the start of the day. And what that does is that knowledge is power. I believe in that. In order for you to become the best version of yourself and reach the potential, the highest potential of yourself, it requires knowledge. So the person with knowledge will never be at the mercy of a person that has an opinion. The reason why is because the person with knowledge has experience. But in order for you to have experience, you have to be able to get the knowledge in order to execute that action from the knowledge to attain that experience. That's what creates value. That's what creates someone that is higher value because they are able to give more knowledge based on what they've done rather than someone giving you an opinion. So this right here amps you up to be able to be in a growth 1% mindset every single day. Then after training, I do iced coffee, right? No estrogen in my coffee, no milk, just pure coffee with some raw honey, right? And coffee is one of the greatest inventions. I'm not a person that relies on things. I want to be self-sufficient. I want to be self-independent. I don't want to be a person that relies on something for my own performance. So I tried, 3 months without coffee. And it was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I performed. But when I had coffee, it just taps you into a different gear. And I did some research and I realized that all the people that have achieved, some success in this world, however you define success for you, the people that I looked up to, I realized that everyone abused coffee. Everyone, my mentors abused coffee. Alex Hormozi abused coffee. Coffee came into this work industry. When it came in and they started implementing 30-minute just coffee breaks for national industry companies, they saw a freaking 150% increase in production just from coffee alone. So I would have coffee before and that would make me ready to freaking start the day. I would I just had a hard lift, putting my name, knowledge through. and it will amp me up for the rest of the day. And then when my first client comes in, dude, it's like 9 a.m. and the client is like, oh my God, bro, what is this guy on? What is this guy on? He's like waking up and I'm like, what is this guy on? So after I do all this, I go into editing one video before my client, right? And that's before my first client. So I'll do like an hour at like 8 a.m. So this here will last you, probably like 2 hours, right? Because from 5 a.m., I'll probably leave to the gym, start the gym at like 6. And from then, this right here I've been doing this for 4 years now. And I literally hit my first 15K months doing this right here while training twice a day in Muay Thai because I was competing at the time too. And I used to be this kid that was quite hedonistic. I never liked going through pain. Every time I would avoid it, like I hated tests, I hated studying for tests, I hated going through the pain of studying, I hate reading. I never liked reading at all. At one point I was super skinny and then I went super fat, so I ate a lot of junk. But I realized that I needed pain in order to grow. So that's why this routine has served me really well, and I hope it serves you. The next part of this is going to be the night routine. I would always plan next day. I found that planning the day before has tremendously increased my productivity the next day. The reason why is because I go to sleep and I wake up knowing exactly what I have to do, because in the morning, because you're so tired, you forget it. Right? So when you plan the day before, you can kind of just allow yourself to forget it and allow yourself to just rest and just wind down and just sleep with peace. So then the next day, you don't have to think. You can just go to a book and know that, okay, this is the list that I have to do. Instead of like, what should I do today? Then you have no North Star. But when you plan the next day, just writing a few dot points down of your priorities and the things that you need to catch up on the day before, just for 10 minutes, and looking at your schedule, looking at your calendar, looking at the clients the next day, looking at your priorities, it ultimately serves as a North Star for tomorrow and allows you to prioritize what's the most important thing. If I do the next day, gives me the highest return on my time. Because what happens is that in the morning, you don't really make that great decisions, right? You don't make great decisions because you're tired. So you want to make that decision beforehand. That's why the morning routine, it's already set out for you to slap that non-decision making Hakeem out and allow yourself to like kick into gear. So plan your next day. And most importantly, it will be planning recording sessions, right? And recording session is looking at my clients. How many clients do I have the next day? Who can I record? And planning out my content on like, okay, this guy might be really good for a consultation. This guy has good personality, so I'll do that. This guy is before and after, maybe a transformation. Maybe this guy will be a script of a voiceover, or tomorrow I might do a day in a life video. So I will plan out my recording sessions, because when you have a plan coming into your content and you have already ideated, you created ideas already, you come in with the recording session with a game plan. And when you have a game plan, you're more highly chance to succeed in it and execute that plan. A person that doesn't have a plan and a person that does have a plan, who's gonna win? The guy with the plan the whole time, because he knows step by step and the destination he's trying to go to. Therefore, planning next day is crucial. The next one now is going to be, I have a shut off alarm. Because myself, personally speaking, I honestly don't know when to shut off sometimes. Like my brain is always going at full throttle and I sometimes procrastinate sleeping. Sometimes I just want to keep going. So this shut off alarm is literally on my phone and it tells me to shut off, meaning that it's time to wind down, time to cut everything off. No screens. I put on my red glasses, and what these does is it makes everything red. And it actually makes you more sleepy by secreting melatonin. So melatonin is a chemical that you produce every time your body tells you that it's time to sleep. It primes you. It's literally what makes you like rub your eyes and like fall asleep. So red light actually creates that and secretes that chemical a lot faster. I learned this. I used to be a biology major and I got a scholarship for radiation science. And I love like human psychology. Therefore, I'm so anal about like my body and my peak performance and why I know about these things. So shut off time, wind down, making sure that your brain is turning off, because I'm go, 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 right? I'm go, go, go. And sometimes that go, go, go-ness leads all the way to the nighttime to like 10 p.m. And sometimes I'm like, man, how effective am I really? Like after 10 p.m., what are you really doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you really doing anything that's that productive, that actually moves the business forward, that actually improves? Not really, right? So I have that shut off alarm around like 7 p.m. And that'll be normally after I pray. So I would pray around like 6:30, and I will pray, eat before, and then after I eat dinner, I'm gone. The next one now is I have magnesium, right? And magnesium is basically a vitamin, you can call it, that helps you recover, right? It makes your muscle more chilled out and soothes it more. Because I train like, once or twice a day and go for runs and do Muay Thai and lift to this day, you want to make sure that you recover well. And magnesium helps that recovery by soothing the brain, soothing your muscles in order to like build muscle and make sure that your brain has retained and basically did a little cleanse for the rest of the night. And magnesium helps with that. So I take 200 mgs, so 2 tablets of this thing right here. It's like Doctor's Best. And you can get all that. I'll put a link in the description below for the ones that I have. Personally, I use. I don't endorse them. I just like using the products. And then when I sit in my bed at 8:30 p.m. Normally, like I'm in bed at like 9 p.m. But last night I got to bed at like 8:30, right? So in bed 9 p.m., right? With reading. So I went through a stage in my life where, man, I had no sleep for a good 3 years. I slept at like 11, 12, and I would wake up at like 6:30. And I only used to get like 6 hours of sleep. And I used to be like, yeah, you know what? Hustle, like I don't need sleep. All the kings in this world, they never had sleep. So I'm just gonna hustle and bustle. And then now with like, it's been like, I think 4 months now, I've had a good 7.5 to 8 hours sleep a night. It's so much better on this side. Like quality of life is just so much better. But sometimes obviously you have a night out and you stuff it up, and that's just how it is sometimes, right? But in bed early has been a game changer for me because it primes me to set me up for my next day. So yeah, like I would recommend you guys to really set a time in order to sleep. Setting a in bed time is more important than setting a wake up alarm time. Because if you're in bed early, then it's easier to get up, so, and plus, how do you fix your routine and save time? Just literally go a day and be absolutely stuffed to get to 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep, and then pay the consequence the next day and then just sleep early and use that tiredness to sleep early. Like it's really not that hard, right? So I would make sure I read, because I would read, like my first ever book was Atomic Habits, and that book honestly saved my life, to be honest. Like it really allowed me to think in a way of systems towards my daily life and my daily habits. And reading specifically at night allows me to like keep doing something in a way where I can just drowse off to sleep. Like I said, I'm a very go, go, go person. So reading before sleeping has been a thing where I would read like probably 20 minutes, and then after a while, your eyes just get a little bit like drowsy and you just go to sleep. So reading, like, I love it because like you're learning something, and that's what's all about, every day, one step closer towards knowledge, one step closer towards, being the best version of yourself. So I would choose a book that would make sense to me at the time, meaning that like, what do I need improvement on the most? Really, after when you start reading, you just sleep like a baby, right? You really sleep like a baby. And it's helped me with my speaking. They say that people that read are 20 to 30% better at speaking. It's because when you read, you're actually saying it out in a very minimal, microscopic way in the back of your throat. So when you're reading like that, it makes you articulate things more eloquently and gets you to become more confident when you speak. So I generally think I was never the greatest speaker, and I was actually quite scared. But because I read a lot of books and started reading books, it made me start speaking more clearly and communicate better. So communication is one of the key skills of life, right? Like someone can feel something and have ideas and have really great things in their mind in order that they could change the world. But if they aren't able to communicate those ideas to other people, then what use of it than having the idea in your head? You might as well just stay in there. You might as well do nothing if you can't, pass it on or inspire someone with it, or build and tell someone the idea in order to build something together, or literally just say it out in order to put it down onto paper, right? So reading has really been a first step in my journey to becoming a better version of myself, right? So the next one now is going to be distractions. I'm gonna give you some things that, like, as a barber, you get distracted a lot, and that's helped me. So every time that I would finish cutting, man, you are just dead tired. You just don't want to do anything at all. Your body is absolutely wrecked, and you're cleaning up, and you just sit in the chair, and it's so easy to just scroll in the chair, right? And I would find myself like wasting 45 minutes after cutting, 45 to like 2 hours sometimes just scrolling. So what I would do is that every time I finished cutting, I would do something after finished cutting. I would, number one, cold shower after I cut, right? Cold shower after I cut. I know it sounds crazy, but I just knew myself that if I just stayed, I would just procrastinate for so long in the chair, and I beat myself up for it, really, because I was like, yeah, man, I'm a high achiever. I'm a go-getter, man. I know. And then I just like scroll for 2 hours. Like, it just does something to your mental health. So I would either take a cold shower. If not feeling it, I'll take a hot shower. At least it just primes on my body and wakes me up. I'll try to do it instantly, right? The next thing I would do is, if I wasn't a cold shower, I would go for a walk, right? And a walk, you can call me like generic, or you can call me like a B word, but taking a walk just clears your mind. And when you walk and you just feel a breeze through your hair and breathe through your face, you kind of appreciate the little things, and it really clears your mind, allows you to like process the day, 10, 20 minutes. That has really helped me, and it creates like a sense of serenity in you, sense of peace. You need your spiritual health is a big thing as well as a barber, as a man, and spirituality is often forgotten in the barbering industry. So taking little steps like those really helps. All right. So the next thing I do is, when I am this is more like a hack than it is a distraction, is I would actually take neuro mints or nicotine gum. I know what you're thinking. Nicotine, like, dude, I'm a dopamine maxer. But no, not really, right? Nicotine, I would actually have that before I do recording sessions. So it's like these Nicorette pouches. And what it does is that it's literally dopamine. And dopamine, it creates a sense of burst of energy for you to utilize, right? And I would have that before my recording sessions. And then when I have one of those, bro, I'm like, go. I'm like, bro, like, I'm recording. Some of my most viral videos have came from me just like being in the zone from nicotine, right? And I did some research. Is that Andrew Huberman, he's a very famous scientist, and he does all his studies based on science. And nicotine is like, it's not bad for you. It's actually like decent. If you have too much of it, like anything under like 2 to 4 mgs is healthy, it's fine. But you shouldn't just spam it and dopamine max, And neuro mints is essentially like caffeine mints. Sometimes you just got to execute. Sometimes you just need energy. So that's what I would use when I would need it, especially during recording sessions, because sometimes you don't want to record content. Sometimes you don't want to, edit videos. Sometimes you don't want to do things you don't want to do, but it's got to get done because that's what's required, right? Sometimes you got to do what's required, not what you feel. So your routine should shape that. Next one with distractions is that in order for you to stop distractions, you have to identify them. You have to know what is distracting you, because ignorance is bliss. If you don't know you're being distracted by it, then you don't know, it's bliss, right? So you have to identify. So how I would do this is that like, I would have a journal and I would write down all the things that distract me. For example, like, okay, I would be editing, right? Or I'll be studying, or I'll be like going through and doing work. I'll have a timer, and that timer will ring every 15 minutes. And what this does is that every time it rings, I have to write down what I'm doing. And every time I do this, and I do it for like a week, I'm like, bro, I should do this every single day. What this does is that each time you write 15 minutes, you write down what you're doing, you start realizing what the frick you're actually doing. You start realizing you're actually like a monkey brain and you're not actually that focused. So that creates awareness on the things that are distracting. And at the end, you just get a list of all the things that are distracting you. And you identify what's the thing that you can control and eliminate. Because when you think about it, focus is elimination. Focus is saying no to the other things besides your one goal. So if my goal is to be able to get out this piece of content and edit, anything that's not that is a distraction. Focus is about saying no. So it actually goes into the same thing with like when you are going out, right? If someone's inviting you out and you say you're focused, anything that's beside your goals is a distraction. So saying no more is you being focused. Next one now is unfollowing everyone. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. It's like, oh, like, why? Back then, I used to think when someone unfollowed me, I'm like, oh yeah, he thinks he's so cool. Oh yeah, like he's just trying to get his ratio from his following to followers, like nice. But I think you require a little bit of spiritual maturity to get to this point where it's like, only because you don't want to see bullcrap that doesn't provide you real value. When you have people that are like, let's say like 1,000 followers or like 500 followers, are you really following that many people? Like the word following, like, are you actually like, you're feeding your mind information all the time. So I remember when I was in this season of my life, I'm gonna lock in and I'm just gonna say no to everything that isn't my goals. And I put that into every aspect of my life. And that would be like anyone that's on IG, old friends that didn't really bring me value. And it takes a little bit of, emotional maturity to be like, hey, you don't really serve me anymore, but it's not like I hate you. It's just that I have to move on to my next chapter of my life, but not like there's any bad related towards it. It's just literally you moving on to the next stage and you becoming more focused. So what this does is that like when you unfollow people, you start surrounding yourself with the right environment. Sometimes that's digitally as well. Your environment isn't just things around you, people around you, it's the people that you see as well. So start by like unfollowing some people that doesn't really bring you value and just junk, funny meme pages, like that doesn't do anything for you. The next one is going to be off days, all right? So during my off days, I would take a social media detox, right? And the reason for this is because on my off days, you want to be recovered. We only get like 1 or 2 off days a week as a barber. And during those off days, sometimes it's not even off days. It's like chore and keeping up with your life day. So you need a mental clean, because us barbers, we're social. So we don't need a social thing that's gonna strip us away, right? On my off days, I would like throw my phone in that lockbox and like lock it for like 12 hours. And it would actually like lock. And it's like you can't enter it, right? And what that does is that like it makes you not rely on cheap dopamine, because on those days, those off days, you kind of want to like have some fun and you kind of want to just relax. But oftentimes relaxing isn't scrolling on your phone. Relaxing isn't consuming. Relaxing is taking a break and taking a step back, reflecting, pondering, cleaning things up. When you clean, you get a sense of like clarity and organizing. Sometimes I like cleaning, sometimes, right? So that's what I would do, right? I have my morning routine, my night routine, and some distractions that, helped me as a barber, right? So if you are a barber and you have barbers in your shop, send this to them so both of you guys can hold each other accountable. And if you enjoyed this, click sub, because I create free value all the time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.